Today, I want to talk about Jamie Newman choosing to opt out of the 2020 season and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. I wanted to try to get this segment up before we do the live show at 3. So if you're watching it or you want to get over there, I appreciate it. You can also subscribe to the RJ Young Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast to catch up on the live show. But I want to talk about Jamie Newman because Jamie Newman chose to opt out. And I can't say that I am very upset with Jamie Newman on the opting out. I was talking with a friend of mine. Well, at least I hope he thinks that I'm his friend. I think he's my friend. And he seems to know some things about this stuff, and he talks with me about it here and there. And I was having this conversation about opting out, right? Because people have been led to believe that opting out has something to do with the COVID-19, the pandemic, the corona season that so many people going to try to play through, even as we only have 15 of 127 FCS teams that are playing, and we only got 76 of 129 FBS teams that are playing. But what you're missing here is the same reason that the Pac-12 kind of sort of shut down their season and the same reason that the Big Ten kind of sort of shut down their season under the guise of health and safety is player organization, athlete rights. Now, many folks have been led to believe that the power dynamic between players and everybody else is somehow changing when it's not, because they're not paid. Okay? What gives the NBA such power to make such statements is that they have 50% of the revenue coming their way. And people show up to watch them play basketball. That's one of the reasons why I thought it would have been stupid for them not to continue to play basketball. Though I should probably back off on stupid. I could see why they would do it. I just would not advise them to do it. Because people show up to watch you play basketball. And as long as you're playing basketball well, people are going to listen to what you have to say about other stuff. Even if they want to turn you off as soon as you start talking about it, they still going to know that you said something because you're in the middle of the playoffs. As with these players, though, they are learning more and more. They're basically playing for free. You can talk to me about how much a degree is worth, and you could talk to me about the value of education. I could talk to you about going to the library and picking up $1.50 in late charges to get the same education that I got at both the University of Tulsa and the University of Oklahoma, and as I was pursuing my PhD. You show up to try to study with some of these professors, and guess what these kids are doing? They're studying with some of these professors that happen to be head coaches. But once they figure out that your utility is just that, right? Studying with them and playing with them, and then they figure out that they can only hurt themselves by playing football when they could get paid millions of dollars in like 8 months' time to play football. They start to get wise about this. This is the Jamar Chase deal. Jamar Chase might be the most profitable player in college football today, not named Trevor Lawrence, right? Because he was still playing. Justin Fields doesn't merit because Justin Fields ain't got a team to play on right now because Ohio State ain't playing. Store brand Cam Newton, Jamie Newman, transferred to Georgia to try to increase his draft stock. That's why he left Wake Forest. But he was also brought over by James Coley. And being brought over by James Coley, who's no longer there, coaching tight ends at Texas A&M, he doesn't have somebody else to be with him. Also add to this, Justin Fields was at practice for Georgia during the scrimmage over the weekend. His buddy is Jamie Newman. They share the same quarterbacks coach. And Quincy Avery out here making sure that they get this bag. Because if they get this bag, he gets this bag. And I've been made to understand, and this has been written about by CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones, that agents are taking advantage of this opportunity. They are saying to these top-tier players, these guys that can go in the first round, like Jamie Newman because he's a quarterback, not because he's a first-round draft pick, but because he's a quarterback, and people want to take a quarterback in the first round. That's why you're going to actually see a dude that led the league, or I should say led FBS in interceptions like Jordan Love, get taken in the first round by the Green Bay Packers. We've been led to understand that, COVID. No. Jonathan Jones is throwing this out there, and he's making a very good point when he says these agents are giving some of these top-tier NFL draft prospects high hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the next year to sign with them. And they can make that money up on the back end. So if Jamar Chase signs a deal as the number 5 overall draft pick and his agent gets, let's say, 3% of a $30 million contract, That's a lot of money. Then you get 20% of all the endorsements. That's even more money. And for the players, you getting paid to just work on your game without taking any hits, without having to go through the indoctrination of team and getting yelled at by these coaches that really are going to treat you like a commodity, like Mike Gundy, rather than treat you like the human being that you are and make sure that you're fully taken care of, like your agent. It's an easy decision. Because even if you get paid $50,000 over the next 3 months, you still be getting $50,000 over the next 3 months to do what you want to do while everybody else get hit in the head. And you get to sell the NFL on, I didn't take no hits in that third draft eligible year, unlike so forth and so on. You know, we've seen this play before. We just haven't seen it in this way. Christian McCaffrey choosing not to play in a bowl game didn't get as much smoke as Leonard Fournette choosing not to play in a bowl game. But remember when everybody was so out of sorts about, yo, why these kids not playing a bowl game? Like DeAndre Baker, who's now facing armed robbery charges, and saying, yo, you quit on your team. It's like, nah, the team? What team? Nah, man, the team is made up of a bunch of people that are trying to get to the NFL. The team is governed by a dude that is trying to keep them in school for as long as he can keep them in school before they go to the NFL. Jim Harbaugh's not trying to make a kid into a NFL draft pick after his second year so he could leave him, trying to make him into an NFL draft pick so he can continue to profit off of his athletic ability and sell more tickets to watch him play. This is also true at Ohio State. And this is also why the name, image, and likeness that is being embraced by so many, like Michigan State, like Oklahoma, like Ohio State, is a big deal because you're going to have to incentivize these kids staying at the university level, which goes to show, one, they're finally catching up to the game is up. Two, you're going to have to find a way to compensate these kids to get them to keep playing football for your university. Otherwise, what's in it for them? And three, there ain't nothing in it for them. Because if you got an agent that can pay you $500,000 to lay in the cut and only go and get this proper care and train when you got to train up until you got to go through pro day workouts, NFL scouting combine, and then NFL draft, what are we actually doing? I submit to you, Georgia fans, this is going to come for you once again with Zamir White. This is going to come for you once again with George Pickens. This is going to come for you once again with the next great linebacker that you have. So you better back the Beck and forget about JT Daniels all at the same time. Because JT Daniels might be ready to play, but the dude that you're going to get the most mileage out of is Carson Beck. And Carson Beck has even remotely the goods to play. You better throw him into this Corona season that everybody's going to treat like a mulligan, but also your chances of actually winning the SEC championship game, getting to the national championship game, are severely impacted because you didn't see this coming. And shame on you for not seeing this coming. Catch y'all on the live show. Deuces.